During the Great Depression, families across America relied on their gardens to survive. Grocery stores weren't an option. People had to grow everything themselves. These survival gardens were filled with tough, reliable plants that could feed a family for months. Today, I've recreated a 1930s-style garden to show you 20 forgotten crops that helped families make it through hard times. We'll dig into the history and survival value of each one, from common veggies to wild plants people foraged. Some are now considered weeds, others have vanished from our tables, but back then, they were lifesavers. Let's step back in time and discover the foods that saved a generation. First up, the turnip, a Depression-era superstar. Turnips are incredibly easy to grow, thriving in poor soil with little care. Both the roots and greens are edible, providing two foods from one plant. They're packed with vitamins and minerals, helping families avoid malnutrition. Turnips could be stored for months in a root cellar, making them a reliable winter food. Simple, humble, and a true lifeline. Turnips were the ultimate survival crop. For many, seeing turnips push up from the dirt meant hope. Meet the rutabaga, the turnip's tougher cousin. Rutabagas withstand frosts that kill other crops, making them essential in cold climates. Their real strength? Storage. Rutabagas last for months in a root cellar or even buried in sand. When fresh food was scarce, rutabagas kept families fed all winter. They're slightly sweeter than turnips and bulked up stews and soups. Not glamorous, but their toughness made them a Depression staple. Rutabagas were the insurance policy of the survival garden. In the South, collard greens were king. These heat-tolerant greens kept producing all summer when other greens wilted. Families harvested outer leaves as needed, ensuring a steady supply for months. Packed with vitamins and minerals, collards were like a multivitamin in the backyard. Slow cooked with a bit of pork, they became a delicious, nutrient-rich meal. Collards weren't just food. They were a symbol of southern resilience. A small patch could feed a family all season. Dandelions, a weed to us, a lifeline back then. When gardens failed, families foraged dandelion greens from fields and roadsides. Young leaves were eaten raw or boiled to reduce bitterness. The flowers made wine, and roots became a coffee substitute. Every part was used. Dandelions were free, abundant, and packed with nutrients. For many, this weed was a vital source of food in desperate times. Survival meant seeing opportunity in the unlikeliest places. Jerusalem artichokes, also called sunchokes, are a secret weapon. These sunflower relatives thrive in poor soil and spread rapidly. Once planted, they return year after year, providing a permanent food source. Tubers can be eaten raw or cooked, and are filling thanks to their fiber. For struggling families, sunchokes meant reliable calories from even the worst land. Their resilience and productivity made them invaluable. Strange-looking, but a survival garden essential. Sorghum wasn't just food, it was the main sweetener when sugar was scarce. Families pressed the stalks for juice, boiled it down to syrup, and used it in everything. Sorghum syrup boosted morale and made bland meals better. Some varieties also produced grain for porridge or flatbreads. One plant, two uses: sweetener and grain. Sorghum's versatility made it a self-sufficiency superstar. It was the backbone of many rural pantries. Protein was rare, but cowpeas, black-eyed peas, filled the gap. Drought-resistant and productive, they thrived where little else would grow. High in protein, cowpeas were the poor man's meat. Combined with cornbread, they made a complete, nutritious meal. As nitrogen fixers, they also improved soil for future crops. Cowpeas fed families and built better gardens, a true survival asset in tough times. Okra, love it or hate it, it was a southern staple. Thriving in heat, okra produced pods all summer long. Its mucilage thickened stews, making meals more filling. Picked often, okra kept producing, yielding plenty from a small patch. Pods were eaten fresh, fried, or pickled for winter. Even the leaves were edible. Okra's adaptability and productivity made it indispensable. Salsify, also called oyster plant, was a forgotten root crop. Hardy and cold-tolerant, its roots could be left in the ground all winter. The roots had a unique oyster-like flavor and added variety to meals. Young shoots and leaves were also edible. Salsify wasn't high-yielding, but its storage ability made it practical. It brought diversity and resilience to the survival garden, a true relic of Depression-era ingenuity. Amaranth. Ancient, beautiful, and incredibly useful. The leaves provided fresh greens all summer, even in heat. The seeds were a high-protein grain, cooked as porridge or ground into flour. Amaranth's dual use, greens and grain, was a huge advantage. It grew fast and thrived in tough conditions. For families, it meant steady nutrition from one plant. Amaranth was a survival powerhouse. Mustard greens added a spicy kick and quick nutrition. Fast-growing, they could be harvested in just a month, perfect for filling the gap before main crops matured. Harvested leaf by leaf, they provided a steady supply. Boiled or braised, they became a comforting side dish. Loaded with vitamins, mustard greens were a simple hunger fighter. Speed and flavor made them a Depression favorite. Swiss chard. Productive, beautiful, and reliable. One planting could be harvested from spring to frost. Cut outer leaves and the plant keeps producing. Both leaves and stems are edible, offering two textures. Tolerant of heat and cold, chard thrived when others failed. Packed with nutrients, it was a workhorse in the garden. Swiss chard meant non-stop food from a small space. Field corn, dent corn, was the real staple, not sweet corn. Dried and ground into meal, it became cornbread, grits, and more. Cornmeal was cheap, filling, and stored well. Corn also fed livestock, which in turn fed the family. Even the cobs were used for fuel or smoking meat. Every part of the plant had a purpose. Field corn was the cornerstone of self-sufficiency. Beans, especially dry beans, were the other dietary pillar. Dried beans stored for years, guaranteeing food through winter. Combined with corn, they made a complete protein. Beans were easy to grow and produced big yields in small spaces. As nitrogen fixers, they improved soil for future crops. Beans were essential for nutrition, storage, and soil health. They truly sustained millions. Pumpkins and winter squash were survival foods, not just decorations. Their thick skins let them store for months without special care. When fresh veggies were gone, pumpkins were still there. Productive vines yielded lots of food from few plants. Flesh was used in soups and pies. Seeds were roasted for snacks. Pumpkins were a miracle of storage and versatility. They kept families fed deep into winter. Sweet potatoes, calorie-dense and packed with nutrients, especially reliable in southern heat, they produced huge harvests. Grown from slips, they were self-sustaining year to year. After curing, they stored for months and tasted even better. Baked, boiled, or fried, they were a family favorite. Sweet potatoes provided pure, lasting energy. They were a survival garden MVP. Cabbage's real value was in sauerkraut, fermented, long-lasting, and nutritious. Cabbage heads were shredded, salted, and fermented for months of storage. Sauerkraut added vitamins and probiotics to winter diets. It was a low-tech preservation method that worked perfectly. A crock of sauerkraut meant vegetables all winter. Cabbage was simple, but its preservation made it indispensable. It brought zing and nutrition to heavy meals. Beets. 2 crops in 1 roots and greens. Greens were harvested early, roots later, maximizing food from one plant. Roots were boiled, roasted, or pickled for winter storage. Pickled beets brightened up winter meals. Beets saved space and labor, offering efficiency in tough times. Their dual use made them a smart survival choice. Beets were practical and nutritious. Millet, the forgotten grain, thrived where corn and wheat failed. Drought-tolerant and fast-growing, it was a reliable backup. Seeds were cooked as porridge or ground into flour. Millet also fed poultry, producing eggs for the family. Its short season made it an emergency crop. Millet was a quiet insurance policy against hunger. It proved that even overlooked grains could save lives. Purslane, a weed that's actually a superfood. Thriving in summer heat, it was foraged and encouraged in gardens. Packed with vitamins and omega-3s, it was vital for those without fish. Eaten raw or cooked, it added nutrition when other greens failed. Purslane grew abundantly, with no effort. It's the ultimate example of resourcefulness, finding food in unexpected places. Sometimes survival means eating what others ignore. There you have it, 20 forgotten crops that meant survival for millions. These plants were more than food. They were symbols of resilience and ingenuity. Which crop surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. Could you see yourself growing any of these in your own garden? If you enjoyed this journey into survival history, subscribe for more. Like, share, and help us keep exploring the skills that kept our ancestors alive. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.